The dowry was paid last Saturday, and I found out on Monday. For 15 years, I thought I knew the man I was married to, but everything changed when I found out he had paid dowry for another woman, and not just any woman. The housekeeper, the one who had lived under our roof, worked beside me. I had no idea this was coming. You see, I'd always thought we were like any other couple. We had our ups and downs, of course. Marriage is never perfect, but it was ours. We built a life together, raised 3 children, and shared dreams about our future. But all those dreams shattered in a single moment when I learned that he had fathered not 1, but 2 children with the housekeeper. It all started with a whisper. I was at the market, buying food for dinner, when I noticed the way some of the women were looking at me. It was subtle at first, but then I heard the murmurs. They weren't quiet enough. I caught one of them saying something about my husband and dowry. I felt a chill run down my spine. I confronted him that evening. I wanted to hear it from him directly, even though a part of me hoped it wasn't true. But when I asked him, he didn't even flinch. He looked me in the eye and said, "Yes, I paid the dowry. Her family demanded it for the sake of the children." I remember feeling like the ground beneath me had given way. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. How could he do this? How could he betray our family like this? And for how long had he been lying to me? As he stood there, calm as if he was talking about something trivial, I felt like my world was crumbling around me. He didn't even seem sorry. No apologies, no shame, just facts. The dowry was paid, and now she was to become his wife. You see, in our culture, dowry is more than just money or gifts exchanged between families. It's a symbol of commitment, of respect. When a man pays dowry, he's making a promise to care for and respect his wife, to honor her. That's why it hurts so much. This wasn't just an affair, it was a whole other family. I asked him what that meant for me and our children. Did he expect me to just sit by while he brought her into our home? He said we would work something out. He tried to assure me, saying, "You're still my wife. You'll always be my wife." But that wasn't enough. It couldn't be enough. How could I stay and pretend that everything was okay when nothing would ever be the same again? For the next few days, I couldn't stop thinking about everything that had happened. I kept replaying moments in my head, trying to understand how I had missed all the signs. The late nights, the long absences, the times he seemed distant. I always thought it was work, that he was stressed, that we were just going through a rough patch like all couples do. But it wasn't work. It was her. It was everywhere. I trusted her. She was more than a housekeeper. She had become a part of our household. She cared for our children when I wasn't there. We laughed together, shared stories, and leaned on each other. She was supposed to be someone I could rely on. And yet, all that time, she was hiding this from me, building a life with my husband. I still don't know how to process it all. I'm torn between anger, sadness, and this hollow feeling that's hard to describe. My family tells me to leave him, to take the children and start over. But where would I go? How would I explain this to our children? This is their home too. They have friends here, school. Their whole world is in this place. And as much as I feel betrayed, there's a part of me that's scared of starting over, of stepping into the unknown. It's not just about me. There are so many lives affected by this. What will happen to our children? Will they be forced to accept this new reality, to share their father with another family. And what about his new children? What role will they play in all of this? Will they grow up knowing that they were the reason for so much pain? I haven't made any decisions yet. I'm still trying to find my way through this. But one thing is certain, nothing will ever be the same again. I can't just go back to how things were. Even if I stay, the love feels tainted. How do you rebuild after something like this? How do you learn to forgive when every part of you feels betrayed? All I know is that I have to find a way forward. For me, for my children, for whatever future lies ahead. So here I am standing at a crossroads, not knowing which way to go. Do I leave and start fresh, or do I stay and try to piece together what's left? I wish I had a clear answer, but I don't. All I can do is take it one day at a time, hoping that someday, somehow, things will make sense again. For anyone listening to this, I hope you never find yourself in this kind of situation. But if you do, know that you're not alone. Life has a way of throwing us into storms we never saw coming. But we have to keep going. Even when the path ahead isn't clear, take your time, breathe, and know that you're stronger than you think. If you've made it this far, thank you for listening to my story. Maybe sharing it will help me find the strength I need to figure out my next steps.